Here we have a rip-roaring game going on, and Hull FC are ahead by 6 points to 4 at the break. Only twice were Warrington restricted to just one try in the first half of a game last year. They scored 160 tries in all in the weekly rounds, but one try in the first half in home defeat to Saints, 16-28, in a 15-6 home win against the Catalan Dragons. It also happened in the home playoff when lost to Saints by 6 points to 28 in September. So the signs, if you look at recent history, not good for Warrington, but the signs when you look at the Super League meetings between these two overall is fantastic. They've won 20 and drawn 1 of 35 against Hull in Super League, and their great record here too. They've won 8 and drawn 1 of 16 visits, and they've won on each of their last 5 visits to this ground. So we shall see.
Well, it was an impressive performance.
Well, they're unbeaten, Steve. Let me just clarify that, because, of course, they drew here last year, but they're unbeaten in 5.
And they will have really been lifted by the fact that their defence in the first half, the black and whites, were really all over their opposition. And the kicking game yet again, they're applying the pressure to Brett Hodgson. Now, we know the quality of this guy. He's superb, but, you know, there are days, and he gets around about 2, maybe 3 in a season, where it just seems to go off the boil, and you get the feeling that Hull realised that.
Well, it's good game plan, Steve-O. What they've decided to do, Hull FC, is make his day a difficult day. 99 times out of 100, Brett Hodgson catches that ball. And there's some good signs earlier on in the day. The Hull FC under-19s beat the Warrington under-19s 36 points to 28, just down the road from the KC. Andy Last, the ex-hooker, doing some good things in youth development here. Is that a sign of things to come?
Well, they will hope so, won't they? They really will. And here is one of their bright young things, Tom Lyon, and he has certainly shown up well, hasn't he? And he gets the penalty because there was a second pull at him as he was trying to get up and play the ball then.
Yeah, the energy and the exuberance showing there by the youngster. He's handling it exceptionally well. He's such a big unit. Very, very big indeed. And this is a lot of pressure now for the Warrington Wolves, who in that first half, 11 missed tackles. That would not have pleased their coach, Tony Smith.
And well done for Phil Bentham. He's only blown for 4 penalties so far tonight. That's 2 apiece. Now, does that indicate that he is letting a little bit go, or are these two sides squeaky clean? You make your own judgments as far as that's concerned. Here is Yeeman.
I think both sides have been well disciplined, Eddie. That's the difference. Oh, that nearly could have been a...
Oh, there's a steal by Richie Myler. And Myler has got support, and it is the youngster, Ben Curry.
Well, that was amazing. It looks as though they were just going to launch an attack. Myler came to the rescue. It's amazing now, in a split second, things can turn.
Here comes Griggs now on the run. Good work that was from Myler. Look, the tackle not completed. Were there 2 men in there, though? Was there a hand on him from the second man?
It was a 50-50. He just lifted the arms in time, I think.
Well, Phil Bentham was in the great position to make the call, and he has, and that's why Warrington are where they are, and threatening the whole line with Myler. And here's Hodgson. And Brett Hodgson held on to the ankles by Richard Horne. He'll play it to Chris Riley. Riley finds Myler, who started all this, slides the kick in. McDonnell read the script absolutely perfectly. Oh, the ball's gone loose, and Yeeman.
Well, it's... I can't believe it.
They're throwing the ball to nobody at the minute. Panic.
Well, did he come from an offside position? I think he might have. I think the home side's been very, very fortunate there.
No, I think he was the man who passed the ball.
Yeah, yes, Westerman played the ball to himself, Steve, and then threw the ball to himself, rather.
Well, there's the incident.
Gone.
I thought perhaps maybe that Tom Briscoe had got a fingertip to it, but on that, I don't think he did.
Tickle, and Hull having a bit of a struggle to get over the 20-metre mark here.
Well, we did say it was freezing conditions out there.
Charge
down and pressured again.
They get away with that, the black and whites. 6 to go for them.
Well, they're becoming their own worst enemy, aren't they? The black and whites. just settle things down a little bit, and that's good work.
Well, Steve-O, we talked about the kicking game of Hull FC. You see straight away Warrington's intention. Let's not let Richard Horne and that excellent kicking game that they played with in the first half, let's not give them the same luxury in the second. Now, there's an exciting player, young Ben Curry, already made his debut for Warrington last year, but such an exciting prospect, this young man. Obviously been on dual reg with Swinton. I remember watching this player as a 16-year-old playing for Golborne Parkside, and again, special talent. Looking forward to watching him get better and better.
Danny Houghton with the kick towards the corner, and that will find touch.
Tremendous.
That relieves a lot of pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's got a great brain as this kid. I've been impressed over the years as he's developed. He gets better and better each year. This is the steal. Oh, well, it could have been. It's very, very difficult to make a decision.
Yeah, he missed it. He missed it, so the referee's missed it. It should have been a penalty. So, although we're crediting him for a low penalty count, there should be another one there.
Once he's involved, the second man, even if he pulls away, it's still deemed a 2-on-1 tackle. Let's get half-time news quickly. Graham Beecroft.
Yes, news particularly from the Hull camp. They were pretty happy with the defensive effort in the first half. Whether they're quite so happy now, Peter Gentle, I'm not so sure. Offensively, they want to speed up at the play of the ball because they believe that Warrington are doing their level best and succeeding in slowing their game down. So look out for quicker play the balls.
Well, they've just got to be careful. They had a quick play the ball on their own line not long ago, and they then threw the ball to nobody in particular. The ghost was there. Here is Michael Monaghan now. This has gone for a 40-20 if it finds the whitewash. Didn't bounce kindly for them. McDonald cut them off at the pass.
And that's a great advantage of having Michael Monaghan jump in the dummy half position. There was no pressure applied, so finished up a good kick. Can they keep them in their own half? Boy, this is a real arm wrestle, isn't it? Rough and tough. Good stuff.
Yes, the World Club last night was compelling viewing, and this is typical Super League. This two sides who really do fancy their chances in 2013, battling away for the 2 points on offer so early in the season.
And it's going to take something extremely out of the top drawer to make sure that they get through, because both defences are very, very strong indeed. Home side thought that was a high shot. That's a charge down, that's a play on.
And Atkins was onside, and Richard Horne does well to get hold of him. And then over the top came young Lynham, showing old head on young shoulders there.
Did he ever? He laid all over him. On this occasion now it's O'Mealy doing exactly the same thing.
This is young Ben Curry, 18 years of age.
The one thing you've got to say about this Hull FC side is that they are super fit this year. You know, Warrington made that clean break, but they all got back in numbers very quickly indeed.
Rhys Evans is grounded by the tackle from Yeeman. Hodgson to Grix.
Good tackle. Is that Joe Westerman?
Joe Westerman, yeah. You think he got a clack on his head as well for his pains. Just rubs it, gets back into the defensive line. Stephen Ratchford with the kick out wide. Palm back, and ooh, was that knocked on? Yes, it was.
By whom,
knocked
though?
Forward by Warrington, and Tickle, I think, gets away with this.
That'll be the turnover.
The first knock on by Atkins, isn't
it?
Yeah, he's got it right as the official, Phil Bentham. Now this is a slug-a-thon, simple as that. You can see Atkins had knocked it through. He lost control, did Tickle, but it has to be given on the first knock on. Composure is needed now. Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, will get that message out. Under no circumstances, don't get caught for being offside, getting away out of the traps too early. Try to keep them down there.
Houghton again finds young Johnson. Oh, and Yeeman's under pressure.
Oh, he doesn't realise it.
No, it's all right. It's all right. He's going to bring it back. He's going to bring it back.
The new rule. It had me confused then.
I'm excited about this new rule because it's like a free play. It's like an open goal. We talked about the chip and chase before. Stephen Ratchford knows he can do virtually anything he wants. Yeeman's trying to catch and pass that ball at the same time in the same motion. Very difficult skill. Even more difficult skill for Ratchford there. But again, it's a free play.
It is, because the knock on, he calls play on, and then providing Ratchford came up with possession here, it would be play on again, but because the black and whites in the shape of McDonald get the ball, they take it back because there was no advantage. There might be an advantage here. Whiting envelops Brett Hodgson.
Well, he was looking for the inside pass, but I'm just getting the impression that Brett Hodgson is not 100% out there. Remember, he got a real bad knock. Came in the first half. Yeoman, that's a knock on. Play on. There's always advantage.
Play on because it went back off the Hull man and then it was knocked on by the Warrington man. And here come the black and whites with Jeremiah, but he was tripped.
Well, I'm very surprised that Atkins trying to offload in heavy traffic like that. Well, it's a bit scratchy. That's all I can say at the moment.
Well, he shouted release, but such is the din from this KC Stadium crowd that Chris Hill didn't hear him. And he's got the scrum cap on as well, of course, that covers the ears.
Doesn't help, does it?
You know, we just missed it. A great ball from Mark O'Mealy. Nice short pass to Jeremiah, who just broke the line. And that quick play of the ball began the momentum that penalty came. Chris Hill trying to slow it down. A second penalty. And Phil's mantra of penalty, try.
And this is for a ball steal.
Yeah. And he lost it. It wasn't a steal at all.
Well, Hull have been remarkable in defence so far for 50 minutes. How good can they be in attack? Because they'll have to score some more points if they want to win this game. And this is the first real chance of the second half to try and do it.
You would think so. Paul Johnson into the 20-metre zone on tackle number 1. Danny Houghton scoops it up from Dunny half, gives it flat to Mark O'Mealy.
And he's lost it.
He has.
Well, this is real pressure, and it's forced errors. You could see O'Mealy wanted to get to it, and he couldn't control it. He was losing it even before Mickey Hyam got himself involved.
Desperate shame that for Mark O'Mealy. Takes that short pass. Those are brave carries, that right up the line, eyes wide open, looks for a support player, offers the ball in the right hand, and unfortunately for Hull FC, nobody there to collect it, and he couldn't control it.
First caught a glimpse of him on the Tri-Nations Tour of 2004, Mark O'Mealy in the flesh. We'd seen him, of course, from Australia many times before that. Came over with a reputation, and well, we praise Phil Bentham and we praise the players for being squeaky clean. The penalty count is mounting now. 2-2 at the start of this second half with the one that came early. It's now 4-3.
Well, Richard Whiting knows that he really has been conned there, because Joel Monaghan, it was hardly a push with any strength, and Monaghan went down as though he'd been shot by an elephant gun. Well, this is amazing to me, because both sides seem to be panicking, trying to offload. You'd think there was only 2 minutes to go on the clock. There isn't. There's plenty of time left.
Last home win against Warrington, 2007. A typically fraught start to the season for the Black and Whites. The Ellis injury, beaten in the game against Leeds. Then the game against Bradford in round 2 was postponed because of motorway chaos. But last week they went to St Helens and got a draw. Here it's 6-4 with 53 minutes on the watch, and we're at the last tackle again, this set of 6 for Warrington.
There'll be another kick to the corner, surely.
It's with Myler, and it'll go high. It'll go out that way, looking for Joel Monaghan, knocked backwards and knocked out and punched out by Yeaman.
Drop out underneath the sticks, just what the doctor ordered. If it's a Warrington doctor that you're looking at, it's as simple as that. I just get the impression that either side have got to just settle down slightly. Tony Smith, perhaps he'll get the message out. We haven't seen Richie Myler ask a few questions of the defence. He's been the man that's been trying to create the link from the forwards to the three quarters. That's A-OK. But I think in this tough defensive game, it needs the likes of Myler to come up with something different.
What is interesting about the Warrington side is that rarely do we see Tony Smith have both Mickey Hyam and Michael Monaghan both on the field at the same time. That's the case at present, and it's interesting to see which one plays which role and how they are effective.
Do you think that's because Breers isn't out there?
I think it's because they're not winning the play the ball, and what they're trying to do is ask them questions that Steve-O's talking about, Richie Myler asking. Ask them around the play the ball.
Monaghan gives it to Myler. Myler attacking the line, flicks the pass. It was not high, says the referee. Westerman got to the chest, and it's play on. And then Hyam will take it forward.
Well, it looked pretty high.
It was Griggs who felt it.
Yeah.
Ratchford wide to come to Myler. Here is Hodgson further wide to Atkins. That's a great defensive tackle by Ben Crooks. It's the last one here. Warrington are running it now. They kick it with Myler into the danger zone, and they're going to get another set of 6, the Warrington Wolves.
Well, they were put under pressure, and in the sheer panic, they got the kick away, and it was a good one.
You know, Barry, you asked a minute or two ago whether penalty would lead to a Hull try. It didn't when Marco Miller lost the possession. Here we get another scenario that's very frequently seen when you see tries scored. Repeat set, goal line dropout we've had. Then another repeat set because Ratchford tackles Herremeier in goal. And here now in the 3rd consecutive set of possession for Warrington inside the opponent's half. Wonderful opportunity for them to take the lead.
And Gareth Carvell will take it forward on the first of the set of 6. Michael Monaghan waits. Monaghan will come down the short side. And this is young Ben Curry.
We looked as though he was going to offload there.
He signed a 5-year deal, this youngster, in November. That's how highly they rate him at Warrington.
Didn't play the ball correctly either.
Myler fires the pass to Ratchford. It goes wide then to Griggs. Griggs then finds Hodgson. Hodgson fends off one. Oh, and was he injured then? Has he picked up an injury? Because he wasn't quick to get up. No, he's okay. He's just holding the knee.
I think he's been carrying it for quite some time, Eddie. He's not 100%, you can tell that.
Hill is brought down by 3. Sheer weight of numbers. 2 more tackles left this set of 6. It's with Ratchford. Ratchford then finds Myler. Myler comes back on the inside. Carvell couldn't get away from the tackle from Richard Whiting. Last one here for Warrington. Another kick wide from Ratchford. Perfect kick. Perfect catch. Perfect try. Joel Monaghan.
Tremendous take. Well, they've been peppering either side, either corner. And Hull have come up with many ways to prevent them, but not on this occasion. It will be pleasing Tony Smith.
It was a brilliantly engineered try, wasn't it? It really was. It takes Joel Monaghan level with Brett Carney and Ben Cockayne now with 5 tries for the year.
Super ball hanging in the air from Stephen Ratchford. You could see it had the backspin on it. Look at it spinning, that means it just hangs up, and what a tremendous take. A la Aussie rule style, up he goes, it's mine. Well, we said that it would take something out of the top drawer, and boy, that certainly was.
Well, Phil talked about the full-back position being one of the most difficult. I think the wing spot, at different times in the game, you're so isolated, so much pressure on what you do, and you either get it right or you get it wrong, and when you get it wrong, it tends to lead to a try.
Well, Brett Hodgson to try and add the extras. Warrington have just nudged themselves ahead, and that goes over the top of the bar, and it's 10-6 to the Warrington Wolves.
I've talked
4-point ball game again. I'm just hearing that Brett Carney did score, by the way, for Bradford earlier on today against St Helens in their defeat. So Joel Monaghan still is second on the try-scoring list in the Super League.
Just saying, really, we've spoke a lot tonight about Hull's belief this season, wanted to convince themselves that they can get to a grand final. Well, I wonder what your belief's like when you go behind in a game here now, almost at the hour mark, against a team that played in last year's grand final. Fascinating now to watch Hull's behaviour, body language, on the back of the fact that their opponents have just had the ball 4 times and scored 6 points.
This has become a bit of a fortress, the KC Stadium. It's a long time since Hull have been beaten on this ground. It was Wigan who put them to the cleaners by 56 points to 12, and that was in 2012, last April. So knocking on for 12 months since they last lost here.
Well, from the restart, Eddie, in this second set, oh, that's a silly penalty to give away, messing around yet again. I'm just going to make the point in regards to the fact that You know, on the restart for the second stanza, both sides were panicking, and yet we've just seen how they were so calm, collected. Warrington got themselves into a good position and utilised the kick to get that try. They'll try to do exactly the same thing. Why not?
Yes, it's on nights like this that runs to the top of the table and the grand final eventually are fashioned. Show a lot of character on cold nights in East Yorkshire. Both these sides desperate to be involved in the shake-up.
And still we see this punishing defence. They really are just putting themselves about both sides. Not the best kick. Should have been right into the corner on the ground.
McDonald just waited for it as the biting wind whistles around the KC Stadium.
Yeah, it's just started up, hasn't it? Blowing all our papers away, and it's bitter now, isn't it?
You might have just seen there at the bottom of your screen how many times one team have had the ball in their opponent's half. You know, it's almost approaching 3 times as much for Warrington, and remarkable effort from Hull here to stay in the game when their opponents have had to attack so much and had so much a good field position. But Hull, I think, here now do need to improve going into this final quarter.
Houghton with the kick, looking for the touchline.
Did he touch that then? Brett Hodgson may well have touched that before it's...
He caught it before the ball hit the ground.
Yeah.
He was stood off the field though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it's a moving ball. That's the new law.
Well, I'd like to have a look at this again.
That's in.
If it's a moving ball and he puts his foot over and then gets it...
And then it hits the lines the second time.
That's fine.
It's okay.
Yep. I think we had the same sort of debate last week at Oxford in the Bradford game. Now then, can this very strong defence create a mistake from Warrington? The crowd are trying their best, and the defenders are. That is unbelievable. Tickle, Richard Horn. It's got the crowd going. The fans are going crackers now.
Oh, but somehow they smuggle the ball back to Myler. And Myler got the pass away to Tyrone McCarthy. Here is Monaghan. It's with Mickey Hyan. Down he goes. Tackle number 4. Bit of a wrestle going on in centre field. Oh, Tickle was nearly away.
He said it's hit his head.
So Warrington get another set of 6 here, and Chris Hill will take it forward over halfway for them.
Well, Hull just can't get their hands on the ball, Eddie, can they? One thing and another just leads to Warrington attacking more and more and rolling forward. Difficult period here now for Hull. They've worked very hard for over an hour, but unless they start getting some of this possession, the chances of winning are really quickly diminishing.
Brilliant ball from Hill, finds Myler. Myler good in his feet, gets it wide to Riley. Second try for Chris Riley. Warrington have suddenly taken a stranglehold on this game. Well, Riley, 2 tries here in the 34-12 win as Warrington clinched the League Leaders' Shield 2011. That's his 2nd try of the night, his 3rd of the season. And Chris Riley, the England international at Knights level, is up and running again in 2013.
This is the build-up to it, the ball. You see how he lost the football. It's not seen by the officials. But you've got up the rub of the green, but what about a run from this and the offload there from Chris Hill? Well, we said that this guy, Richie Myler, hasn't been asking a few questions. He did on that occasion, and he got the answer. Tickle all over, perhaps could have been, but he's lost it. Very fortunate. The home crowd have seen that on the big screen here. They're upset. But take nothing away from the quality of the prop forward and the good step by Myler. And what about the bullet pass? That's all he's got to do. People keep saying all he does is score tries. That's what he paid for.
Yeah, great pass, great finish again from Chris Riley. He's got a fantastic strike rate, this young fella, and when you think about it, he wasn't always first choice. 150th appearance tonight. That's his 104th try in Warrington's colours.
I've often said that he is one of the most underrated players in Super League. He
Hodgson to add the extras, no. But 14-6 to Warrington, and it's only 8 points, but time is running out for Hull.
Here we have a look at the incident there with Tyrone McCarthy, but you've got to give the credit to Richie Myler. Richie Myler makes this support run time after time after time with no result. You see Chris Hill, you see Richie Myler push through support. Coaches mark their players, how many times they make that effort, and that effort on that occasion produces a try assist for Richie Myler.
Ben Curry recovers well, but still then has to take the tackle from Richard Horne and Chris Green.
But isn't it great, Eddie, to see the quality of a young prop forward like Chris Hill fend and then offload? Great stuff.
And he's there again, Chris Hill. Bit of a risky one, but has worked really hard since he joined the club from Lee Centurions, building a real strong foundation on that reputation that he had in the Championship, and he's quite rightly regarded as one of the best in Super League.
And another man on a career milestone tonight. This is his 200th appearance. Here goes Monaghan. Warrington looking to put this game to bed. Hodgson to Mickey Hyam. Here's a milestone for Hyam. 100 career tries for Mickey Hyam, and the one here at Hull tonight that will probably win the match for Warrington, who are on their way to the top of the table. Mickey Hyam seems to have been stuck on 99 for so many weeks. He got a try here for St Helens 10 years ago in a defeat. He's got a try here tonight to take him to 3 figures, and probably in a victory.
Very, very poor. They allowed Michael Monaghan to run from dummy half. The support play is outstanding, though, isn't it? You can't afford to do this. Very slow. You can see there, Andy Lynch was nowhere near him. Hodgson feeds the man, and as Eddie said, gets the milestone to the delight of Tony Smith.
Mickey Hyam, 24 tries for Lee, 35 for St Helens, 17 for Wigan, 22 now for Warrington, 1 each for England and the under-21s, 100 up for Mickey Hyam. Hodgson is going to add the extras here, you fancy. And it seems like in the blink of an eye, Warrington have gone from trailing 6-4 to leading by 20 points to 6.
And
quality.
Yeah, and this is quality as well. And anyone that questions the decision by Tony Smith to have 2 hookers out on the field of play, well, I think you've got your answer.
Well, in a very basic attempt to explain why they've got those points there, I suppose they had some patience, didn't they? They put 2 goal line dropouts on their opponents, and then with that weight of possession, the fatigue started to set in, and they've got tremendous strike power to complement the skill. Another penalty. Just look how sometimes in rugby league, because penalties tend to go to the side in possession, as we're seeing again here now, Warrington, having scored the ball, get it back again, receive another penalty, and so much of the last 10 or 15 minutes has just been all about Warrington in attack.
Well, Peter Gentle, the Hull coach, realises that this game may be slipping away, but when you look at the tackle count, Hull have had to make 303, Wolves only 229. You don't have to be Einstein to work out that Hull are tiring.
Yes, they are. The falling off tackles, and here is Simon Griggs. He gets the ball away to Myler again. That was an important tackle by Ben Galea. Quick play the ball. Hyam finds Michael Monaghan again. Monaghan goes inside a couple. And they just bring him down short of the line. But Warrington, 3 tries in 10 minutes. They're not satisfied with that. They want more. And here is Myler. Oh, and it's a loose pass that goes in front of Ratchford. He nearly had a flick at that, missed it. Horn saying he did. That's a knock-on. Referee disagrees. And here goes Atkins. Bounces off Ben Crooks. Almost gets away from Richard Horn, who hangs onto his shirt tails. Here comes the lash. It's Riley. Riley into Myler. Myler crossfield kick again. Look out. Monaghan up above everybody. Monaghan will score his second. 2 tries this week. 2 tries last week. 2 tries the week before. Joel Monaghan. And Warrington have come good in the second half, and how?
A very, very tired defence. You can see there, some went up, others came back, and the breaks and the gaps are appearing all over the place. They opt for the kick out wide, and that was poor play. No one even contested it. They are a very tired outfit of the black and whites, but this will not please the coach, Peter Gentle, to allow the tall man to go there without any other pressure. And even when he took the ball, he was short and he had the ability, no one to put a hand on him, and he crawled over for the try.
The contest when the previous kick went up was lost by the Hull FC players, and they think they just stepped back, watched Monaghan catch it, decided to make that tackle, but by that time it was too late. Too much time and space for a player of that quality.
Ratchford, change of kicker because Hodgson's off. Ratchford to try and add the extras. Tony Smith claimed his 250th victory as a head coach last week. Ratchford has just missed with the conversion. He wasn't particularly interested in that, he told me, and he won't be particularly interested after 4 rounds that his team tonight will sit top of the table. But they're up there, and they are certainly one of the sides that the rest are going to have to watch very closely this year.
Well, I keep saying it in regards to the restart, that both sides, they panic, try to offload in impossible positions, and the side that just calmed down and got good field position would certainly take the lead, and it has to be said that Warrington have done that perfectly.
Well, Warrington will be top of the table for 24 hours at least, because the team with the only 100% record left in the competition, the Huddersfield Giants, are at Wakefield tomorrow, and we'll bring you news of that match and news of all the rest when we have a look at Salford and Hull Kingston Rovers tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 3 HD. What a weekend for rugby league fans on Sky Sports this has been.
And if you like your rugby league tough, tomorrow will be just that.
Well, Hull KR found a bit of form last week. Salford are desperate to get their first win of the season. Hull KR did that last week. It'll be another rip-roar of that.
If only the sun would shine.
A bit early for that, Steve.
Yeah, it's been a cold weekend, but tell you what, they've warmed us up, haven't they, the players? They very rarely let us down.
Well, this summer sport starts in the winter, continues through spring and summer, and finishes in the autumn. We're a 4-season sport these days.
Back to 6. Was reefed out.
Be interesting, having watched Hull in some ways fall apart when they went behind at Leeds in round 1. Eddie, if you remember, they conceded a lot of points and it was a disappointing end to the game. Here now, this game's probably lost, but what have they got in them in the last 10 minutes here? How much fight and commitment? Is there a real grit in this side, and can you see it demonstrated here now in the time that's left?
Westerman is brought to ground by Richard Myler. Here is Danny Houghton. I mean, I know it's a very old cliche, but this has been a game of 2 halves, because Hull controlled it with their kicking game in the first 40. Tony Smith has had a look and sorted it out at half-time. That's a forward pass.
Certainly looked it. Ignored by the man with the flag on that far side.
And in the second 40 minutes, particularly the little purple patch that they've had with the 4 tries, they've taken this game by the scruff of the neck. They've turned it upside down.
Yeah, but Peter Gentle, we'll look at the videotape.
Chances here. Ben Crooks. Ben Crooks is over, I think. But has he got it down? Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Or has he?
No, he's going upstairs. I think he's got it down.
Crowder on the back of Phil Bentham.
I'm not so sure, Steve-O. I'm not so sure. He works ever so hard to get there, Ben Crooks. I think Ryan Atkins does enough, does it?
That's a try.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a try.
It's not it.
You know,
it has now. It's hitting that ground now.
Yeah.
And you can see the writing on the ball.
You can on that.
You can on that one. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Well, it's snowing in East Yorkshire, and Ben Crooks has got the try that will give them some encouragement, but will only be consolation.
Well, Ben Crooks, son of the great Lee Cooks, has been replaced by replaced as the kicker, and obviously Lee Crooks scored many a conversion, many points for this great club.
Westerman to try and add a couple of points. No, the wrong side of the post. It's waved away. 10-24. It'll be consolation, but it'll be scant consolation for Peter Gentle.
Yeah, they never give in, do they? And you know, they kept trying. And on the very few occasions that they utilised the dummy run, it was a good dummy, wasn't it, by this kid? Sheer determination. Second effort got him straight there. But the point I was trying to make, Eddie, in regards to Peter Gentle, he'll look at the tape of this game and realise that they can't afford to be a team that have to do so much tackling in the first half. It takes it out of you, and that's what we've seen now, is a very tired outfit.
And Westerman, well, he tried to get that away. It bounced forward. Myler swooped on it. Oh, and that's a good tackle by Lynham. It's a zero tackle, though. Here is Atkins. This is Curry.
Well, they might not finish winning this game, but I tell you what, Peter Gentle will be happy with the winger, Tom Lynham.
Played well, hasn't he?
Has he ever?
Here is Curry. Wide they go to Monaghan again. This time there are 3 black jerseys there to bring him down. 7 minutes to go.
Well, this is the sort of position where Chris Riley will be saying, I wouldn't mind a hat-trick here.
And Cooper takes it forward.
He's screaming for it, is Riley on this left-hand side. He's had the arm raised.
Yeah, Joel Monaghan's on a hat-trick as well, don't forget, but they're coming towards Riley's wing, and that is too... Oh, I don't know whether he's put that down, Waterhouse.
Well, I tell you what, how leisurely was that attempt to put the ball down?
I'm saying nothing, mate. I've got 2 wrong so far tonight.
I think he's lost it.
Yes, he has.
Great work from Ben Crooks not to give up on that tackle. He's using his arms, he's using his legs, he's using his body.
And he's lost it.
Dare I say he should have his thumb round the ball, Steve-O?
Pretty hard when he's got a little Twinkie on the other side.
Second time that they're having a look at a Trent Waterhouse possibility, and second time it's been scrubbed off.
Well, I can't believe that the experienced Trent Waterhouse...
I think it hit his foot, didn't it? Or hit the...
yeah, but
his arm, I think, got tangled up with Ben Crooks' leg.
There's no control over it, Eddie, before
well,
it even hits.
Well done, Ben Crooks, as Barry rightly said.
Yeah.
Well, that really would have been curtains. Here goes Lynham, and there's a bit of space ahead of him. He can move this boy.
Go on, kid.
Great tackle by Ratchford. Super tackle by Stefan Ratchford. And the way Warrington celebrate that defence. He was away, Lynham.
Certainly was. He's a big unit as well.
And he backed himself, didn't he, Steve-O? That was a superb tackle. Stefan Ratchford did everything right, showed him the edge and just caught him right round the bootlaces, but great skill from both players. Love to see action like that.
There's the snow or sleet.
No, it's snow, Steve-O.
It's coming down pretty fast for snow.
Let's get it moving, boys. Okay.
Is that the difference between sleet and snow, how fast it comes down?
Of course.
Snow falls slowly and sleet comes down quickly. I've never heard such a load of old nonsense in all my life.
Are you doubting me?
I certainly am. That's snow.
There's many people doubt you, Steve-O, many.
Well, you can see now it's slowing down.
And you can tell now with this commentary tonight why Steve-O doesn't have a job in the meteorological office. If I only could say it.
The meteorological what?
The Met office.
It's a cross between sleet and snow. It could be described as slow. No? All right then.
Hyam here.
He's worked hard, you know, and it's a good advantage that Tony Smith has to have the quality of Mickey Hyam on the bench and utilise him. Normally it's to give Michael Monaghan a bit of a rest, but to say with so many missing from the first grade.
You know, it was napped that it would snow tonight because we're at Salford tomorrow, and we went at the start of last season to the new stadium and they played in a blizzard and there were about 6 inches of snow on the field.
Move.
4 minutes remaining. Warrington top of the table. Here's Andy Lynch. I think Hull will be disappointed about this after their first half show.
It's hard to be happy when you lose, but I think, Eddie, when you consider what happened to them in round 1 at Leeds, when they went behind on the scoreboard and they fell apart, and it was individual efforts to try and win games or give themselves a chance. Here, at least they look like a team. They were beaten on the scoreboard, but they've continued to play as a team.
And they're continuing it right towards the end here with Houghton, who, to be fair, is unfortunate to be on the end of a 24-10 scoreline.
You're spot on, Eddie, because he really has worked hard. He's a clever player.
Back.
Oh, it's still on this. It's still going this. That's touched by Warrington. Well, I'm sure that was touched by Warrington.
It certainly appeared that way, but...
Sure, Myler got a hand to that, didn't he? Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. There.
Monaghan and Myler, I think, both touched it. Either way, slowly but surely, seconds ticking away. But at least they come in with a bit of a flourish of the black and white. They certainly have not thrown the towel in. And especially with Danny Houghton, he's had a wow of the game. And I must say there's been some good performances all round on both sides. And look at that sleet coming down.
Like a dog with a bone, you won't leave it alone. Here is Ratchford again, who has also, by the way, had a great game.
Yep, he certainly has.
There's a lot of quality in this Warrington side, and they're doing it at the moment without Lee Breers, without Adrian Morley, without Ben Westwood, who's suspended. 3 big players, and a difficult trip to Hull on a night like this, and they're going home with the win.
Outside.
Kick towards the corner will, well, I was going to say it will skip its way over the dead ball line. It won't. Lynham has to run it out and does so gamely.
That's got to be a penalty.
Oh, no, I think he's got that wrong. Tom Lynham tries with great urgency to get up and play this ball. I think he has a right to play that ball.
I don't think the tackle was completed.
God, that's harsh.
I don't think the tackle was completed. There wasn't a hand on him. The referee's just said that, not held.
Well,
what about when then a player offloads and the referee said it's held, or go back and do it again like we do it under 7s? Why not let him, you know what I mean? We have it one way and not the other, that rule.
But he's put the scrum down here for the knock-on against Tom.
Controversial end to a game who I must say I've thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, they really have got into each other. Some of the tackles have been brutal.
A chance maybe for Warrington to record a 30-point scoreline. Wood will take it forward. He'll offload it to Hyam. Hyam will boom it into the middle to Myler.
Riley again looking for that hat trick.
And they're coming his way with Mickey Hyam. Michael Monaghan. Back it comes to Myler. Here is Atkins. Oh, and a hand got in there from Lynham that prevented the try and the hat-trick for Chris Riley.
Well done, the youngster, Tom Lynham. Beautiful little offload, put himself on. What's this? This is all about good positioning. The flick is super. Bang. Lynham says you're not going to have it. It's been a great battle between this youngster and Chris Riley. He's happy, Tony Smith.
I don't know whether that's applause or he's trying to get some feeling in the fingers. It's such a cold night. Just a few seconds remaining. And that'll do, I think. Or is Riley... No, he's not content.
Was that an attempt at a drop goal? I think it was.
Away goes Briscoe. Cuts inside a couple. Are we going to get a spectacular end to this match? We might. Mind you, I think this lot are all offside somehow, but we'll see.
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're offside.
Oh, that's a shame, that. That's a shame. I think it's right, but...
Is it not video ref? Check on the video.
Well, let's have a look. Just because it's a great passage of play, let's have a look. See if we can find a way to give it, Steve-O.
I doubt it. They were well and truly in front.
It's a shame, this, but
yeah.
I think they are.
There's one definitely, and it's the man.
Crooks.
And it's Crooks. Yeah, it's Crooks. It's Crooks that's in front.
Crooks, yes,
Yep.
and he's involved.
It's a shame because it would have been nice to see the name
Deserved
line.
it, the young man, didn't he?
Yep.
He's had a good game. That'll do. Boozering around the KC Stadium. Tony Smith's Warrington are top of the table after a real hard-fought match here at the KC Stadium.